Analysis back to the drafting board. U.S. Supreme Court upends Biden weather schedule. Washington. The U.S. Supreme Court's choice to restriction the powers of the state's top environmental regulator to minimize carbon emissions will pressure the Biden administration to take more innovative measures to attain its bold desires to fight weather alternate. The conservative courtroom's 63 ruling restrained the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from existing coal and gas-fired strength flora beneath the Clean Air Act anti-pollution law. That is horrific news for U.S. President Joe Biden, a Democrat, who got here into office with the goal of slashing electricity zone emissions to Internet zero by means of 2035, using the EPA as his key device in doing so. The EPA has been working on a suggestion to improve the decarbonization goal. Eric Scheffer, Gov Director of the Environmental Integrity Project and former EPA enforcement leader, mentioned the Supreme Court choice will pressure EPA again to drafting board. Without extensive authority to perform a national shift from coal era to purifier assets like wind and sun, the EPA may attention on person flowers, putting new efficiency fees that could pressure the dirtiest plant life to shutter. The corporation may also don't forget regulating greenhouse gases indirectly as a co-benefit of other air pollutant or water guidelines, a step that could face stiff legal demanding situations. Targeting electricity vegetation with new difficult requirements for other pollution or waste, as an example, ought to require highly priced retrofits that hasten the closure of vintage, inefficient coal flora. Karen Sokol, a regulation professor at Loyola University New Orleans, agreed, the business enterprise goes to should paintings around and dance round hitting carbon head-on, that's certainly the only significant manner to respond to the weather disaster. Biden mentioned in an assertion that his administration changed into reviewing the Supreme Court ruling and analyzing its options. While this choice risks unfavorable our nation's ability to hold our air clean and combat climate change, I will not relent in using my lawful government to guard public fitness and address the climate disaster, he mentioned. There are presently no rules in force to reduce carbon emissions from power vegetation, source of approximately 1/4 of the nation's greenhouse gases. The Obama-era Clean Power Plan became blocked by means of the Supreme Court in 2016 and a narrower alternative crafted through Republican former President Donald Trump's administration turned into blocked with the aid of a federal appeals court in 2021. The High Court docket selection did now not have an effect on EPA's ability to address greenhouse gas emissions from automobiles or methane from the oil and gasoline area, a cutting-edge recognition of the corporation. Lifeline for coal? With more limited gov authority, the Biden administration's alternatives to address strength industry emissions additionally consist of pursuing law in Congress, however, that has established a hard proposition given its partisan divisions. The court docket choice affirms that EPA and other corporations need express authorization to proceed in addressing major questions which have profound consequences at the financial system, mentioned Jeff Holmstead, a former EPA professional and companion at Bracewell. Even so, carbon emissions from the strength area have dropped in recent years, as coal-fired power plants were retired and changed by way of cleaner-burning natural gasoline plant life, and renewable assets like wind and sun. That shift has been driven in element with the aid of a duration of low gasoline fees, alongside declining expenses and country and federal subsidies for renewable power resources. Surging prices for herbal fuel this year, however, have raised a few concerns that utilities will transfer to burning more coal, or enlarge the lives of coal plant life, to save money. The prospect of light destiny EPA law may also increase coal. This is a lifeline to extending using coal, wrote Harvard environmental and administrative law professor Jody Freeman. The shift to smooth strength might also happen greater slowly as a result of the court protective the industry through this ruling. The United States, behind only China in greenhouse gas emissions, is a pivotal participant in worldwide efforts to fight weather change.